Super Brands is the world's most significant marketing award given to companies in 86 countries for building outstanding brand equity. A two-stage selection process involves scoring by thousands of consumers and an independent council of eminent personalities from various sectors. Over 135 companies in India use the Super Brand seal to display their superior status. Super Brands now join hands with ET Now to bring you behind-the-scenes stories of some of India's most powerful brands.
They are brands that have brought tremendous glory to India. They touch our lives every day and contribute significantly to the country's growth story. These icons of business excellence are India's super brands. Hello and welcome to the Super Brands show only on ET Now. On this series, we travel across the length and breadth of India to discover and bring to you some of the most exciting and arduous journeys that India's most powerful brands have undertaken to reach to the top. On the show this week, a 50-year-old company that transformed the writing instruments industry in India back in the 1960s using innovative technology and design. And India's largest manufacturer of cables and wires that has been fueling everything right from homes and offices to airports and metros for the last 4 decades. Well, our first story today is of a brand that you would have surely heard of if you went to school after the 1960s. It brought the innovative fiber tip technology to India that made writing with pens a huge pleasure. Luxor continues to be a pathbreaker in the writing instruments industry even today, and the legacy of its founder D.K. Jain is carried forward by the next generation. Here's the story of a super brand that introduced never-seen-before stationery items to the Indian masses. When it comes to stationery items, most of us are like kids in a candy store. Holding the pen's body, getting the grip right and letting the ink flow. Whether it's noting down mundane details or giving expression to your thoughts, putting pen to paper is a simple everyday necessity. This story began 5 decades ago in 1963 with a young man called D.K. Jain. A born leader, he was president of the student body at Delhi University's Dayal Singh College. Coming from the humble beginnings of his father's small office in Sadar Bazaar at Old Delhi, he dreamt of offering fine writing instruments to the masses in India. And with his cheerful disposition and hard work, he made this dream come true with his company Luxor.
He started with 5,000 rupees borrowed from his father and 5 workers, and he used to make around 1,500 pens per day. He used to work in the daytime and he used to sell it in the evening and encash the whole thing, and that gave him motivation. Whatever he was producing, he was selling the same day, so he was very excited and he wanted to grow the business.
Ballpoint pens were a rage in India in the 1960s, but they were inconsistent and unreliable. A trip to Japan in 1970 led D.K. Jain to discover fiber tip sign pens and sketch pens. Inspired by this innovative technology, his mind was set on bringing it back to India. And hence, Luxor became the pioneer of the fiber tip technology in many avatars of pens, fine liners, highlighters and markers in India.
When he used to talk about starting a pen product line like fiber tip technology, which started the first for us, people used to think he was crazy, but and the highlighters or the markers, I mean, all of that, all the specific use products which we launched, the fine liners, the micropoints. So he became in himself the industry. So he did not only pioneer the industry, he also, so if it meant a pen, it was Luxor. And if it meant an industry man who represented the industry, it was my father.
The biggest challenge in India was how to provide affordable products to the masses. So for that he went, instead of importing everything which other competitors were doing, Mr. Jain had a vision to have backward integration. So he went and got the technology to produce the nibs, which is required for the writing instrument. We started our own ink making plant way back in 1980. So that helped us to reduce the cost because everything was produced in-house. We were not depending on import or any other thing.
At the helm today is dynamic and razor-sharp businesswoman Pooja Jain. When she joined the business in 1996, Pooja's entry coincided with the breakthrough partnership of Luxor with Parker, one of the leading writing instruments brands in the world.
Well, it was my father's dream to have to bring in a brand which is very well known globally, and Parker is one of the largest and is still the largest global brand in writing products. My father's dream sort of coincided at a time when the owners of the brand were looking for entry into India at that time, and obviously the best partner to choose at that time for them was Luxor.
See, brands are about associations which create value in the minds of consumers. Bringing in Pilot brought in a technology association for the brand, and bringing in global brands like Parker brought in a sort of brand equity associated with global major brands. And I think both have helped to enhance the reputation and trust that people have in Luxor.
Behind the stylish pens of this mega brand called Luxor are 7 manufacturing units where a bewildering array of products comes to life every day after a complex maze of manufacturing processes. From sketch pens to whiteboard markers, highlighters and pens, each of the millions of instruments at Luxor starts its journey out into the world from the shop floor. Carefully crafted in automated injection molding machines, lovingly filled up with bright and enduring inks, fitted for 100% precision, checked for beauty and quality, and finally stamped with that proud name Luxor, 6 million of these pens are churned out every single day.
We have been a pioneer into introducing all new technologies in the country, as it was shared earlier. The roller ball technology, the Pilot pens, and various other kind of markers. A writing instrument being a consumer product, it's paramount importance for us that we pay attention to the quality. There are specific needs in the product, like ink should be toxic free.
In the vast world outside, these FMCGs flow out into a sea of consumer products every day to meet and greet the keen faces of children and adults alike. In 2009, Luxor made a grand foray into the world of retail with a series of exclusive and shop-in-shop stores. In a move to reach out to consumers, Luxor Explore and Signature became the interface where one could marvel at the entire range of Luxor's products.
When Luxor started its retail foray, we developed a concept where we said we have the best brands in the country and from the global side as well. How do we bring to our modern consumer who's changing his way of shopping a portfolio of products which he normally would not see in its full glory displayed properly? And that's what inspired me to say, let's get into our own retail concept store.
The challenges were we were kind of ahead of time. One was not really sure that a stationery outlet could be made in a manner that people will come specifically to that outlet and spend money on it. Going beyond the destination point, we also had to attract the impulse of the shoppers who were coming inside the outlets like Shoppers Stop or Landmark to buy books, or Crossword to buy books and gifts and stationery. So there were challenges. They were not very sure whether stationery will sell from these outlets, whether a Shoppers Stop will be able to sell stationery at all. Today they are very happy.
For a touch and feel product like that of Luxor, impulse buying forms a large chunk of sales. Specialized teams work behind the scenes on product packaging, creating attractive designs that help in pushing that purchase. Luxor not only works on the aesthetics, but also adopts functional cues from its overseas experiences.
Designing and packaging plays a very important role because it's all impulse purchase there. It's all sealed in a blister pack, in a big clamshell. We developed a lot of packaging, special packaging for export, which now in India also, now the Tesco is there, Metro is there, even Walmart has come to India. So those things are all also being replicated for the modern trade in India.
Despite being a product of necessity, the writing instrument industry sees some tough competition. Besides being at the cutting edge of technology and design, Luxor has also been a groundbreaker when it comes to advertising. It led the way in bringing renowned mainstream personalities into the low-key realm of pens and stationery. One defining moment came with the big B Amitabh Bachchan stepping on board to endorse brand Luxor.
It's better not to write if you don't have a Luxor. Luxor pens.
Well, Mr. Bachchan's was with us in the Parker brand for 11 years, and at that time, Mr. Bachchan obviously is the most talented star in the country with a 40-year success. For a brand like Parker, there was no other choice but to take someone who's so successful. And if you look at all our advertising, I think they blended extremely well, where his success meant the use of Parker and Parker's success meant with a man like him.
You know, Luxor was one of the earliest brands that realized that Mr. Bachchan's persona is, although it has a sophistication, but it has a very wide and mass appeal. So Luxor employed that persona so beautifully in the beginning to say that the Luxor brand is both a brand that you can respect and you can connect with. The sort of strategy of that campaign was that better not write if it's not a Luxor. This is a simple sort of thought, and at that stage with Mr. Bachchan and everything, it just kind of connected very well. And then we went on to Parker, where we very clearly sort of premiumized the offer.
While the man with the big stature represents Luxor's premium offerings, its youthful range of pens and the student-centric Pilot series is well embodied in actor and brand ambassador Deepika Padukone.
Gel chodo, Pilot pakdo.
Pilot writes 4 times longer.
Well, recently we have Deepika Padukone for Pilot, who's again a young budding star for Luxor and Pilot. So she's the advertising person for Luxor and Pilot now for the last 2 years. She's obviously a very bright star and very young, youthful, level-headed. And I think it matches again very, very well with Pilot and Luxor, which are both reliable, long-term, trusted brands.
Luxor was established with a vision to offer something to everyone in the writing space, from a young school child to a college-going student, fresh professionals to seasoned executives. A staggering assortment of writing instrument brands makes Luxor the complete package. And the journey of this super brand is far from the end, as it charts new milestones, adding fresh pages to its story every day. So that was Luxor, the company with many firsts to its credit. Today, in fact, it even offers a range of eco-friendly pens made out of recycled material. Let's take a short break at this point. Coming up on the other side, a 40-year-old company that began from a small shop in Mumbai and became a multi-crore rupee empire of wires and cables. You are watching the Super Brands show only on ET Now.